Hello, welcome back to the channel. So, today I want to talk about the future, speculating about the future and what I think the future is going to be like soonish, maybe in the next 2 5 years. My sense is that the future we are heading is going towards localism again. Again, it's going to be towards um, isolation, and it is going to be towards closing borders. I know that sounds like so 2020, but I feel like that's what we're heading. Um, right now, we are seeing a lot of tariffs being applied to other countries coming in into our borders. I'm seeing how the US is applying tariffs to products that coming in from China, from Canada, from Mexico, and how Canadians are boycotting US products in their countries. And slowly people are basically pointing their fingers at migrants and how they are the problem to the current cost of living crisis, which is probably not true. But that's like a sign that we are restricting ourselves. I feel like we are trying to kind of have this mentality that we need to take care of ourselves right now, and we don't have energy or capacity to take care of other people. So I feel like the future that we are heading is that we are going to close up our borders in countries and also in realities. I feel like we are heading towards tribalism again. We are heading towards we just need to take care of ourselves. We can't afford to take care of other people, and we are going to do that by just benefiting ourselves. We're going to make sure that we going to make everything ourselves so that we are self-sufficient and we are not going to be needing or buying other people's stuff. And I feel a bit afraid of that, particularly, I think, because it's just going to create a mentality of us and them, and that's really dangerous. And this rhetoric about migrant and about scapegoating them to explain the current problem that society has is also extremely dangerous. That's how riot is going to happen and migrant shops are going to get looted, because this happens everywhere. This happens every single time there is this type of problem, and it's almost clock clock time clockwise. No, it's almost it just happens always like this. Politicians pointing fingers at the scapegoats, and then riot will happen, and then they're going to pretend that they're taking care of the problem, they're fixing the problems, but not really. In most cases, the politicians are the problem. So, as a society, we are going to start seeing that we're going to stop accepting others, like people that are not part of our community. And I feel like that's so dangerous. Like, so dangerous. But I am speculating. I really do hope that we have changed as society, that we have changed as um, with time, that we have learned our lessons. But you never know. And I do have hopes with the younger generations to kind of skip the bullshit and kind of skip the games that these people are playing, and seeing it for what it is and seeing it in a way that is logical, and dissecting it and having discussion and having a good analytical brain so that they can have critical thinking in a way that I feel like previous generations probably don't, because in a lot of ways, like previous generation probably didn't have TikTok or YouTube, so their information that flow into their lives and into their brain is very limited, and also like highly dependent on who are feeding that information into them. But I think like now with technology, we have more options and we have more uh, people that have different opinions that can inform us quite differently. We can have an option to hear from people who are quite fanatic when it comes to a certain ideology, and then we can switch and or scroll up and see like ideology that is quite lukewarm, people that probably are not really supportive of anything. They just sit on the fence, and then you have people that support our ideology and the reasons why they do. And I think it's important to have access to all viewpoints and to have all access to opinions that are different than us as well, because it makes us make an informed decisions and hopefully direct us as a whole, as a society, towards a different future than the ones that we had in the past. I feel like it's really dangerous, this idea of us and them, which is where we are going towards right now. And of course, like when push come to shove, if things are gonna be threatening to me, I will definitely revert to my natural instinct again and, choose me, choose survival me, of course. But knowing history is very terrifying. And I feel it's also inclusive in the trauma part of my brain that is so easily triggered and easily stimulated to flight and fight. But I just hope that the world is not going towards the same outcome like we had like 100 years ago, where we always headed towards war. And hopefully, we are heading towards something better this time around. And yeah, that's my speculation about the future. I know it's probably a little bit like an off video, but I am thinking about it quite seriously these days. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.